Some of the easiest things to do are kind of shop the markets, see what you can do, see what you can find. I don't like to call these loopholes, but more like strategic plays. And, a lot of times we find where people come to us and they're utilizing an HTS code that really isn't correct. And a lot of times there's a lot of gray area in these HTS codes. And so taking a look at what HTS code you're using, is it giving you the best benefit? And then also, what of your HTS code can be taken out by moving into a different region of the world. So between that, we kind of call it tariff engineering, where you're looking at cutting out certain sections, which we have an example in here of a swimwear HTS code that gets hit on multiple levels. So yes, for this, for instance. So this is somebody over the past couple of years, both Trump administrations, probably not big fans of them. They've been hit with a 7.5% tariff and then a 10% tariff. So, as you look at that, you're over 40% of what your costing is. And this is based off of a $100,000 PO. So you place a $100,000 PO, in China, and you end up paying $42,000 in tariffs. It's a hard pill to swallow. So, for this instance, there are other people that you can utilize where you can at least bring it down to the general duty of 24.9% by taking it to Cambodia, Vietnam, India, or some of these other places. And so taking a look at where you're at, and China is king. They move fast. They do a good job. You can keep MOQs low. The price is competitive. And so up until maybe this point, it didn't make sense to move to Vietnam and take all those costs and pay a little bit extra. But now that you have a 17.5% increase just from being from China, it opens up other areas of the world to be more competitive. And so the hard part about all this is, how does this not get passed on to the consumer? The factories in China, they're not going to swallow the margin. The brand probably can't swallow the margin just with raising ad costs and things like that. And so you come to this point where it's well, maybe we can meet in the middle. Maybe I can renegotiate with my factory in China and drop a few percent, or maybe I can find a new supplier in a different area of the world and drop a few percent. I'll absorb a few percent, and then a few percent gets absorbed to the end customer. And so I think we're going to see the more strategic and the more tariff engineering a brand can do, the less they have to pass that 10%, or in this case, 17.5% onto the client. And so that's where these brands, some people are going to be able to maintain cost or increase it just a little bit, and others are just going to increase 10% right to the customer.